Yes, here we are at Hornsby, 19th of February, watching the grand final between Prads and Patrick Kim, event number 2. I'm the popcorn guy, sitting here with Rangor. Rangor, tell us what's going on.
Well, basically, we've come into this match at round 6. For the first couple of turns, we can see that Patrick Kim's cast a Faithless Looting, a Mulch, Traitorous Instincts, and it looks to be like he's flashed back a Lingering Souls to get those tokens, while Prads has cast a Talisman, tapping that to bring his life back up to 20 from the small incremental attacks he's received, and then he's cast a large Sphinx to try and get back into the game. As we can see, is that Khan on the field, I think?
Yeah, Khan with a couple of counters on him.
So he's basically trying to get back in control of the game at this stage. Patrick's really got to be hoping for Alish Norn right now, I'd say, to try and get over the top of that Sphinx.
I think Prads is looking pretty comfortable though. I saw a couple of counter spells in his hand there, just as he flicks through. At least a Dissipate and a Mana Leak.
Well, I suppose he doesn't want to dodge over the top of this. He really is in a pretty reasonable position. He's only got to be fearing that Alish Norn. It looks like he's going for the Unburial Rites on it now. There it goes, 2 over the top at Khan. And 1 at Prads.
Yep.
So you're probably just letting Khan die, right?
Yeah, just...
There it goes.
Yep.
So now I suppose Prads is in the position of possibly wanting to dodge his own Sphinx.
Well, it seems a likely solution. Let's see what he draws here.
He could possibly just Doomblade the Alish Norn. He's just got his hand off the field.
Yeah, you've got to see a dodge coming here.
Patrick's got to know it's goodbye to his creatures. Not swinging with that Sphinx for any other reason.
Yeah, there we go. Dodge mana all the way.
I think the great thing about Prads' deck here is he's able to continuously interact while keeping his life total relatively high.
Absolutely.
Even though taking those few early bashes, that Talisman's really come in helpful for him.
I've got to say, looking at Prads' deck list, it was pretty thin. You know, very lean.
Yeah, I do agree with you, but the threats themselves were quite diversified. It looks like he hasn't gone with the all-in-one slot.
Absolutely, yeah. I just love the inclusion of the 2 White Sun Zeniths. It was just nice.
Well, end of turn Kitties puts a lot of decks out of place.
Yeah.
What's Patrick going for here? Is that another Unburial Rites? Yep, looks like he's going for...
No, it's an Inferno Titan. So, Patrick Kim says, may I?
Prads denied.
Exiled.
I mean, at this stage, Pat's really just got to be hoping to land a threat. He can't really hold them back because the counterspells aren't going anywhere.
Lingering Souls, so much value.
That card's got to be one of the top cards, top uncommons from this set.
Oh, without doubt. In fact, I think I overheard 2 or 3 players during the day talking about the value of it.
I mean, when it first came out, I think a lot of lower level players were missing its interactions and the fact that it would be in an aggro deck, a control deck. Now we're seeing it everywhere from the lists last week in the Pro Tours. It's also springing up archetypes. Without it, I don't think we'd see the Spirit deck existing.
Yeah, it certainly gave it a bit of a boost, didn't it?
Prads lands.
What do you reckon Prads is going to come down with here? Another Sphinx, perhaps?
It's got to be Sphinx or a Walker. With the
he passes turn.
Are his White Sun Zenith's main board? Don't remember.
Yeah, they are. He's got 2 main board.
He could just kitty end of turn, right? He's got Timely Reinforcements isn't going to help him. Not while he's up.
Here we go. Patrick Kim says, may I, with an Alish Norn.
Is Prads holding a counterspell? I can't quite read what's in his hand. He pauses.
I guess you could always snapcaster into a dissipate.
I suppose his other option is he's thinking whether he just brings back the dodge, right?
Yeah.
That's possibly the pause in his thought.
Oh, here we go, snapcaster. Back into an answer. Yep, good value for money there.
Oh, and Patrick comes back with the
second unburial.
The unburial rights again. Swings across for 6.
For those of you wondering, Prad's arm is actually updating a life counter at the top of the screen.
That life counter was replaced with the totals we can see at the bottom. Now he's got to be wondering whether he can hit a dodge or a doom blade. I think Prads is only 2 outs, or he's a 1 Elish Norm, but I don't think you want to be throwing away your Elish Norm like that unless you have to.
Maybe an O-ring on the Elishnon. Oh, he goes with a Sphinx.
He obviously needs to dig for the answer.
Now, one thing I really like about Prads is he does things like this. He just puts a Sphinx out in the face of adversity, and it looks so innocuous, or perhaps ineffective against the game state. But you watch. I bet you he capitalises on it.
Well, immediately it's draw 2 cards for 6 mana.
Sure.
Well, it doesn't sound fantastic, but if it sticks, or if Patrick misses something like casts his draw spells over the top of it, it could immediately overwhelm him in card advantage.
For those of you at home watching this, you may be wondering what we're waiting for. And a judge has been called. There was a bit of a delay in the consecrated Sphinx trigger being resolved. And there were some questions raised around whether or not Prads had missed the trigger. The judge's ruling was that everything is okay and Prads can draw the additional cards.
And there we go, back to the game.
I saw him yoink a Doomblade off the top there.
Goes Doomblade over the top and block. Is that what we're expecting here?
Was he swinging in with 3? Is he swinging with Elishnon as well?
No, I don't think he tapped Elishnon.
There you go.
Yeah, Doomblade.
Yep.
Lock it to the spirit. The mana
takes
dude.
out the
Yeah,
mana,
yeah. Smart, yeah. I missed the mana dude in there. Keeps his big threats within mana league. It's the exile zone there, Prads is checking.
Another one.
This is flashback, right? So, flashing back the Unburial Rights on the Elishnon again. Is that Faithless Looting?
It is.
Now that's going to give Prads a huge amount of cards advantage.
So Prads is going to draw, what, 4 cards off that, isn't he?
Yeah, he has to wait for after the discard because the spell has to finish resolving, but then he draws 2 lots of 2. There he goes, saying I trigger my Sphinx. Fill up my hand, please.
There's a Doomblade.
Is that another talisman, I think?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. The talisman's keeping him in the game. Like, he's taken so much damage and continues to just life it back up one at a time. He's going to play that talisman.
And you were spot on, Rang. It was the absolute card advantage just pulling him out of this. Now that lone Sphinx still sitting there.
I'm not 100% sold that casting that Faithless Looting was right at that stage. To dig you too deep at the cost of a card and give Prads 4 in a deck like this is probably sealing your own fate.
He's got to have almost 10 cards in hand now.
Yeah, I'd say we're going to see discarded end of turn unless he plays a bunch of stuff.
Oh, what's this? Timely reinforcements.
For full value. That allows him to go on the offensive, right? Now he can continue to swing back into the Spirit 1/1s with his own Groundwalkers.
And keep in mind too, it's a nice target for a Snapcaster if he needs it. So.
Top of that, if Patrick manages to resolve Alishnorn, he does lose all the tokens. But with that kind of card draw, you've got to expect another counterspell. There's the second talisman. Sphinx over the top, down to 14.
Resolves his Sphinx trigger in a timely fashion.
And he almost needs another hand to hold the cards he's currently got.
Oh, here we go.
Hardcast Alishnorn, please let me resolve, Patrick says.
Prads goes mana, leak.
Denied. I mean, the spirits can chump block.
Yeah.
But I think Patrick's got to realise he's on the back end. He's in a lot of trouble at this stage.
Oh, for sure. Look, he's got one card in hand. Prads is what? End of turn, Forbidden Alchemy. He's all over Patrick at the moment. How many cards has he got in hand?
What did he do? Forbidden Alchemy. He can't have more than 9, right?
No.
10 off his draw. He says chump block.
So there's another 6, taking Patrick down to 8, I believe.
No, he chump blocked
Oh, yeah, 2.
the flyer and a Groundwalker, so we'll go to 12 when they resolve that life. Gideon. Anything you can find has to attack Gideon. It seems reasonable.
There we go, 12 life. Lingering Souls.
Patrick's just hoping to stay in there at this stage. He's possibly going to just flash that back. Buy himself a couple of turns. Checks the bin.
Here it comes, flashback, Lingering Souls.
4 dudes for 5 mana, all in the air. It's interesting, he can sit it to cast something there for 3 and then changed his mind. I'm not sure what he has in hand or what he was thinking about casting.
Or was he just trying to signal something, perhaps? A bit of misinformation.
Possibly. I mean, at this stage with Prads' hand, even the greatest trick in the world probably isn't going to pull you back. Like,
Hardcast Alishnorn.